Hey everybody, Chris Naugle, America's #1 money mentor, and today I get to take you behind the scenes on how we help a client solve their money problems. And today we're going to help our client Maureen solve her problems called debt, college planning, as well as her goal of having a retirement home into her retirement years. So we're going to take you and show you how we use the financial butterfly effect, where we change just one thing in Maureen's life, and that one thing changes everything. Join us for this behind-the-scenes look of how the money multiplier solves her money problem. All right, Maureen, I am so excited. We've been working on this stuff for far too long, but now all of it is put together, ready to go. So what I want to do is I want to tell everybody your story. I want to talk about your money problems, not just problem, and I want to get into how we actually solve your money problems with this method. A lot of people get excited seeing how much money they have to use each year, but some people are like, well, what kind of return is that? Well, we're going to show you. And remember I said the other thing too earlier, when we pay off all your debts, which is the next tool, the map, we're going to show you how we do that. Remember, there's 19% we're going to pick up right there, but how much money does the vehicle all in itself, this specially designed and engineered whole life, what does that make you? Well, we put together this sheet here, which we call our cash-on-cash returns or our cash flow returns. So how I do this is we break these down in 5-year blocks. Okay, so in the fifth year or 5-year breakdown, your cash-on-cash return, your cash-on-cash return on that $50,000 is 8.89%. So remember earlier we talked about this is where people get screwed up all the time. You're guaranteed to get 4% plus a dividend. And if that dividend this year is 2%, you're making 6%. So people never really fully understand uninterrupted compound interest. They don't understand the power of compounding. Albert Einstein did. He called it the 8th wonder of the world. Those that understand it, earn it. Those that don't, pay it. Have you ever heard that with Albert Einstein?
I have. I have heard you say it.
Over and over and over again, like a broken record. But this is why, because if all you're making is 6%, how the heck can you make 8.89? That's only the 5th year. How about the 10th year? You put in 50, and based on your cash flow that you have, that's a 39.72% cash-on-cash return. And a lot of people get hung up because there's actual returns, there's compound, interest returns, and then there's the cumulative return, which is where you would take every penny that you put in, add them up, and then figure out what your return is. That would be lower than this. But that would require us to put the money into this whole life and leave it sit and never use it. That's not what we're going to do. We're literally going to take your money, put it in, and immediately take it out and use it to make more money. That's what the infinite banking concept does. And that's what the money multiplier is all about. But here, what we're doing is we're looking at the return the same way you will look at your returns in real estate. Whatever money you put in that year, how much did that money grow to? For example, if we deposit $50,000 in the 5th year, you make 8.89%. If you deposit money in the 10th year in your plan, $50,000, you make 39.72% on that $50,000 deposit. And then all we're going to do is we're just going to take that return, we're going to take that money right out. That money is going to come out, that money is going to come out, and you're still going to make the same return because no matter what, they're going to pay you that 6%. If dividends remain constant where they're at now, they're going to pay you that on the full 50 grand that you put in that year, even if you take it all out. And that just keeps getting better because by the 15th year, how about 171%? That's not such a bad return.
Oh my gosh.
How about this one? 20th year, okay? I know it seems like a long time in the future, but what the heck? 20 years, 254% cash-on-cash return.
I like it.
Even if we look at the guaranteed returns, like the guaranteed, only the 4%, forget about the dividend. Everything's going to change. After 168 years, the insurance company's never going to pay you another dividend for as long as you live. Darn it. So how much do you make? Well, the 5th year you would have lost money because there would be no dividend. But the 10th year you made 14.45. The 15th year you made 60%. And the 20th year you made 71%. That doesn't suck. That's pretty awesome. And the same thing for your kids. So we got Alexander, Connor, Lindsay, and then I'm going to show you combined, which is even better. But their returns are similar. 5%, 33%, 150%, 246 cash on cash. And it's very much the same for all the kids. But if we look at a combined plan, right? If we look at where you're putting money now, and then we just changed that one thing and put it into these specially designed whole lives, and we took them as a combined, that means you'd be putting $65,000 into the plans. By the 5th year, you made 8.48. The 10th year, that 65 you put in, you made 38%. The 15th year, which is the magic, actually every year after the 10th year it gets crazy, because now you can't put 65 in. You can only put 26,000 into the plan. So 26,000 is the max amount you can fund this plan at. And at that point, you made 168% cash on cash. And in the 20th year, 26,000 goes in, you make 254.86. That's your cash on cash returns. I mean, I can't even make these numbers up, but this is right off of the insurance company's illustration that they provide. Pretty impressive, right?
Oh my, yes.
So when you read the book, did you ever think that you could make these kind of returns on your money?
Never. No, never.
Now that we've kind of got excited about how the plans work and the plan designs and how just the plan operates, let's get into the best part, which is actually solving your money problems. Let's pay those debts off. Let's pay for those college tuitions. Let's buy that house in Florida, and then let's look at buying some passive income. So we're going to now go into the final and last tool that we create, which is called the map. And this is where our mapping department really sets apart the money multiplier, because this is the one thing we do different than everybody else. So let's dive right in. All right, Maureen, this is the part where all of the work that we've done up to this point all comes together and literally puts you at ease and solves your money problems. And like I've probably never been so excited to show this than I am right now, because this one was monumental. Because the hard part about this map is, if you remember back everything we talked about, we have two things happening at the same time. So we're paying your debt down, but Lindsay's going to school. So we literally needed to not just create one map, we needed to create two maps for you. One showing your debt pay down, and then we needed to capture all those numbers, and then we needed to show those numbers applied toward college. So it was very difficult in creating this, but this is what we do for our clients. This is what the mapping team is good at. And the best part about this is, I know we've kind of gotten deep into the numbers the last few that we've talked about, from the cash flow. It's all numbers. We do all this for you. I mean, all you had to do is tell us what your problem was, and then we solve that money problem. That's the only thing you had to basically do, is just give us the inputs, tell us how much you want to put into these vehicles, that changing one thing, and then everything else takes its place. So I just want to do a quick recap, because we've talked about a lot of things. And if everybody remembers, in the beginning, we had technically four major goals. Number one, we wanted to pay debts down. I'm going to show right here in this map exactly how we pay Maureen's debts down. Then the second goal was we wanted to pay off all the college, which is 3 kids at $22,000 each year in college expenses. So we're going to get into that right after we pay the debts down. And then after that, we're going to basically allow Maureen get her really excited, because she gets to go buy her house in Florida. And then also, pretty much, she's going to have a lot of extra money that she can go buy some passive income rentals with. But the other thing too I want to remind everybody is, when you're seeing these numbers, and we're talking about 50,000, deposits going in here, and then we're talking about the $5,000 deposits going into the kids' accounts, all that money, that's not newfound money. Maureen, did you have to work any harder to do any of this?
No.
Did you have to work longer?
No.
Okay. Are we taking on any risk with doing this?
No.
And did you lose control of your money?
No.
So we didn't lose control. We didn't take on risk. We didn't work any harder. All we did is we just repositioned where her money was already going. And folks, whether it's $50,000 or $500 a month, it doesn't matter. Your numbers are your numbers. Maureen's numbers are her numbers. And these are the numbers she was saving prior to meeting us and prior to reading the book, Mapping Out the Millionaire Mystery. So let's really go into it. And I'm going to go slow here, because there's a lot of numbers, and I want you all to really digest how simple this really is. Because all we're doing is we're taking all of her debts, we're putting them in a very specific order. We call that snowballing. And then what we're going to do is we're going to basically use velocity, the money that she's giving away to these credit cards and these car finance companies, and we're going to take that money back. And I'm going to show you how this works. Over here, this is your deposit, okay? We put $50,000 in the first year, which was just money that she had in her savings account and money she was already putting into retirement accounts. So we did that. Now, out of that, she has available from the cash flow model that we did, $30,193. So I'm just going to write that down here. So we've got $30,193 available immediately. What we're going to do is we're going to take that $30,193, and what we're going to do is we got to have that money do two different jobs. Number one, that money is going to be used to pay off some debts. But number two, a portion of that money has to be shifted over to the college planning portion to pay for Lindsay's school, because that was part of the deal, right? We have to solve that college goal. So $8,906 of the $30,193 is going to go off to pay for Lindsay's college. So I want everybody to understand that we're doing two things with the same dollars. But we are going to use $21,287, which is right here. Total funds available to use. This came right from the cash flow tool that we built for you, Maureen. So what we're going to do is first, we're going to pay off Discover. Now, I know it's been a bit, but Discover, we owed $2,245. You were paying $200 every single month to Discover at a rate of 24.24% interest. And roughly, it would have taken you 13 months paying $200 to pay that debt off. 13 months to pay just one of these credit cards off doing what you were doing before. So now what we did is immediately, the second you make this deposit, we're going to pay Discover off. But what we're not going to do is we're not going to pay Discover off and get all excited and be like, yes, I won. No, we're going to take the $200 you were giving to Discover right here, and every single month, we're going to change who that $200 goes to. We're not going to pay that $200 to Discover anymore because we paid them off. We're going to take that money that we were giving away, that 24.24% interest money we were giving away. I just wanted to rub that in, push that knife in and twist it a little bit. We're going to take that $200 and we're going to put it over into a newly created bank account. So all you're going to do, Maureen, is you're going to go to your bank and you're going to open a brand new checking account. Nothing fancy about it. Don't even need checks. You don't need a debit card. The only thing we want is a holding tank to put the money that you're giving away into. So every month you would set up, how I do it, and I think how you should do it, is set up a bill pay. Instead of paying to Discover, pay that bill pay back to this segregated bank account. That's it, okay? Now all of a sudden it's out of sight, it's out of mind, and no new money had to be created. But we're also going to take this $22,287 and we're going to pay off TD Ameritrade. TD Ameritrade credit card was $3,351, and you were paying 22.99% interest on that one. 22.99%. So with this money, we're going to pay off TD Ameritrade. So this one's gone, okay? So we get rid of that one, we get rid of Discover, but now you were giving them $149 every single month. So we're going to take that $149 and we're going to move that money through a bill pay or an automatic transfer into that newly created segregated account. So $149 goes to that bank account. Also, this $21,000 was enough to pay off your Chase card, and it was also enough to pay off Ben's Discover card. So what was the impact of paying those off? Well, number one, you were giving $214 a month to Chase, and it would have taken you 40 months just to pay off Chase if you continued on the plan that the credit card set up. See, that's the funny thing. The credit card companies want you to keep paying them. They make those minimum monthly payments super low so that everybody can afford them because that's how they make money. You're just giving them interest every month. Why wouldn't anyone want 22.99 or 24.24? Why wouldn't someone want that monthly payment coming in? So that's all you were doing is paying the, pretty close to the minimum, and because of that, it would take 40 months. Now Chase is gone, and now you've got $214 freed up that you used to give away. We're just going to take that, and we're just going to take that $214 and put it over here into this segregated account. Same thing with Ben's Discover. Pay that off, free up 24.24%. That frees up $200 a month. That goes over here. So you'll notice over in this column, okay, right here, $532 every single month is the amount you were giving away to these different companies, okay? It's actually it's actually more than that. $763. So $763 a month is what you just freed up in that first year that you were giving away to everybody else. We're just going to change that and put that over to that segregated bank account. So now all that's left is you've got a car loan, but we have some extra money. We didn't spend all of this money that you had available from that loan we took from the insurance company. So what we did is we pay the car loan down from $14,000 down to $11,000. So in 1 year, without changing anything, so what we've done is pay off all of these credit cards. The only thing left is your car loan and your business. And if you remember, this is your business loan, that business credit card from Marriott Chase. Those are the only two things left after the first year. What questions do you have for me in regards to what we've done so far?
I don't know, but I love what you're doing.
All right, Maureen, in the first year, we paid off all these credit cards, and all these credit cards that you were giving money to every single month, we've just added all that up, and all we did is we put it into your segregated account. So we got $763 a month, every month being now put into your account, not the credit card company's accounts. So at the end of the year, you would basically have saved $9,156. That's $9,156 you used to give away to the credit cards that is now in your bank account. I mean, like, do you want $9,000? I'll take it if you don't want it.
No, I'll take it.
You want that?
Yeah, I'll take it.
All right, fine. Okay, so the only things left going into year two, as I said, is the car loan. We've got about $11,338 left because we did pay down a little bit of that car. But when you pay down a credit card a little bit, it reduces your monthly payment. But a car loan is an amortized loan. So therefore, when we pay it down, your monthly payment doesn't change. So in year two, all we've got are these two things. Let's go over to year two here. The second year, all you're going to do is the same as first year. You're going to deposit $50,000 into your banking policy. Okay, that specially designed whole life, that's right here. And now in year two, you have $32,000 to use. The first year was only $30,193, so year two, it's a little bit more. Okay, now what we have to do is we have to send that money to work in two different places. Obviously, one part, the $24,786 right here. Okay, $24,786, just so you understand exactly what that is. That is the portion of this $32,000 that's available to you, plus the segregated bank account that all you did is you changed where the money went. That was $763 a month. That's $9,156. So $9,156 plus the amount of the cash value that we used makes up $24,000 here. The other $16,517, that money is going over to the other map to pay for Lindsay's college because we still have that obligation. We've got two things we're trying to do at the exact same time. But this is where it starts getting really fun. You see, we take this $24,000 that we have, which is the amount of the segregated account plus the amount available in your cash value, and we pay off this car. So the car loan is now gone. So that Infiniti that you drive around, you pay $468 a month. Even though that $468 is only 2.39% interest, would your car feel and drive better if you didn't have a monthly car payment?
Me, it would.
It's kind of a trick question. It would drive the same, but it would feel a lot better not having to make that payment. But you see, you're not going to not make that payment. All right, so now that the car is paid off, $468 a month now can get put into your segregated account. But now we got this business credit card, okay? And I know you like to keep your personal and your business separate, but we're going to use your banking policy to pay off this business credit card because you're giving them 22.9% interest, and we can't do that. And you're giving them $446 a month, and it would take 53 months to pay that off based on the credit card company's plan. Well, this is your new plan because we're not going to have that take 53. We're going to pay it off, get rid of Marriott, free up $446, and take that money over here. Now, as a bonus round, one thing you could do, because this is a business, you could actually lend the $14,774 to your LLC. Okay, you could do a loan to your LLC for $14,774. Charge your LLC 6%, because why not? I mean, you could pick whatever interest rate you want. You're the bank. You own the money. If you're giving the money to your business, charge your business interest. Then that business then pays you back with interest instead of you having to pay yourself back. Just an idea. I just wanted to kind of give that because that's another option, another way you could make some extra money if you so choose. But here, all I'm trying to do is get rid of all the debts. So by doing this, it's taken us, well, a lot less than 2 years, but I'm just going to say at the end of the second year, what is the result? the result is now you took back all $1,677. That was $1,677 that early on, when we went through all your expenses and your debts, that was that money you were giving away to everybody else. And that was at a rate of 19.99% average. So you literally now are making an average 19.99% on all of this money that you just took back. So after the end of year 2, 24 months in, your segregated account has $20,124. Now we're going to look at the impact of that later, because what we did as a bonus, we showed you exactly how much interest you're going to save on this entire thing. But at the end of the second year, you got an extra $20,124. That's literally wealth that you created just by taking back the money that you were giving away. So this is your debt map. As we keep going with this, these segregated accounts, okay, will keep having this money going in there for the same amount of time that you would have given it to the credit cards. 140 or 40 months, 13 months, 64 months, 31 months on the car loan, and 53 months. That's how long you were willing to pay somebody else. So since you were willing to pay somebody else a monthly payment for X amount of time, you should pay yourself back the exact same amount for the exact same amount of time you were willing to give it to them. Because you're an honest banker now. This is your bank, meaning this is your money. And if you owned the bank, well, you wouldn't steal from your bank. You'd be an honest banker, and you would treat your money the same way you treat the bank's money. That's all we're doing here. We literally did nothing different other than follow a process, change one thing, and then take back the money that you were giving away to everybody else, because you're just treating your money the same way you used to treat the bank's money. Because what would happen if you didn't make that $468 a month payment to the Infinity car loan?
They'd repo my car.
Right. So if you don't pay $468 a month to your bank, well, I guess you could go repo your car. It's kind of the same as keeping the car in the driveway, but it sounds cool. So Maureen, now that we've got the debt map done, now we have to kind of almost go back and look at the second map, which is going to be your college plan, and the map showing how we're going to pay off all the college, because you see how much you just freed up here. We're going to use these dollars and play double duty with these dollars over on the college. So let's pull that map up. All right, so here we are. This is the final map. This is the college map. This is where we actually pay off every one of your children's college. And we do it with a lot of extra money, because all we're doing is we're just using velocity to keep that money moving. And not only that, we've still got all the money moving from when we paid off your debt. So here's how this one works. So now when we first set up your plans, we set up a plan for you, a plan for each of your children, okay? So the plans that were set up for your children was nothing more than just reallocating the money from the 529. But if you remember in the beginning, we still had money left over in those 529 plans. So those 529 plans that you had set up, we still have that money, and that money is still available. We're going to use that. We just didn't put any additional money in there. So starting with the first child. So we got Lindsay. She's 17. She's in school pretty much when? In the fall she starts, I believe?
September, yep.
In September. So Lindsay, when she goes to school, she's got a college tuition of roughly $22,000. That's how much money her college is going to cost each year for about 4 years. But what we had to first do is we had to figure out what would it cost to get financial aid for this? How much would it cost if you got a student loan for Lindsay? Well, if we got a student loan for Lindsay, what we found is the average right now is about 4%. And if you did a 4% loan, it would roughly work out to be about 180 months before that financial loan was paid off, that student loan. So here's what we're going to do. The first thing we're going to start with, and remember, we've got 529s for each of the children. We've got policies, these specially designed and engineered whole lives for each of the children. So what we're going to do for Lindsay is we're going to take $10,000, which is the amount that's in her 529 plan, and we're going to take that $10,000 and we're going to apply that to her college tuition that year. So now we got to find the rest. So where's the rest of the money come from? Well, if you remember, in the very first year in your policy, we took $8,906 of your cash value and we allocated it toward the college. So we're going to take this $8,906 plus the $529, plus we're going to use Lindsay's cash value, which is $3,094. If you add all three of them up, that takes care of year one of Lindsay's schooling. But what we're going to do then is we're going to recapture once we pay for that college, we're going to recapture the $185 that you would have given away for a student loan. So we're just going to take that $185 and we're going to move that $185 over here into a segregated bank account, just like we did before. So really, remember, for your debts, we had a segregated account. For this, we're going to have a segregated account. Might as well have two separate accounts to keep these tracked separately. So year one's done. But at the end of year one, that segregated account has grown to $2,219. That's nothing different than the money you would have given away for the college financial aid or the college student loan, whichever you choose. That would have been money given to somebody else that we're going to recapture over here. Okay, so now going to year two for Lindsay's college tuition. So Maureen, now we did year one, year two's up. So now we've got another $22,000 of college tuition that we have to pay for Lindsay's second year of college. So it's simple how we're going to do that. We already used the $529, so we have no more money left in the $529. But what we've got is we now have $3,264 in Lindsay's cash value from Lindsay's specially designed and engineered whole life. We also have $16,517 in your cash value in your plan. Plus, remember, we recaptured that $185 the first year. Okay, that was money that you would have given away to somebody else. We just put it in your bank account. That's all we literally did. We created a new segregated bank account and put $185 in. So if we take that segregated account plus Lindsay's cash value plus your cash value, there's year two. Lindsay's year two college tuition is covered. Now, here's what we did not do in year two. In year two, we didn't touch Alexander's cash value. We didn't touch Alexander's $529, and we also didn't touch Connor's $529 or Connor's cash value. But their cash values are growing. So as you'll see here, what we're going to start tracking now past year two is we're going to start rolling over cash value year after year so we can keep tabs of how much money you're actually building in these other plans that we're not using yet because they're not in college yet. So with that, that takes care of year two for Lindsay. We pretty much paid everything off for the college. We recaptured another $185. So now our segregated account every month has $370 a month going into it. Again, that's not new money. It's money you would have given away to a student loan or to some other loan that you would have had to take out. And now that has $4,438. So now we move on to year three. Okay, I know you're probably getting tired of seeing numbers and you probably have your eyes rolling back in your head, but just stop and listen. We create these maps for you. All you have to do is follow what we create. And the other thing that's important is, remember, it's very simple. We're taking money that we put in your left hand, we're moving it over to the right, which is your money problems, and then we're taking money you would have given away to somebody else and we're moving it back into your account instead of giving it away to someone else. That's all we're doing. Check it out. All right, Maureen, so year three of Lindsay's college. So again, assuming $22,000. Now, the only thing we're not taking into account here, and someone is going to watch this and say, yeah, but every year college goes up. We're just keeping it static. We don't know if college costs are going to go up, so we just keep it the same at $22,000. So if you remember what happened the prior couple of years, we used the cash value from your policy, the cash value from Lindsay's policy. The first year we used the $529 plan, okay, which was the original college savings plan you did. But now something very unique happens. You see, now that velocity starts picking up, and now we start running into another problem, and that's where you have a lot of extra money that we're not going to use. That's not a problem a lot of people get to deal with, but it's a problem you're going to have to deal with. And I'm going to show it to you in just a second. You see, we pay the $22,000, but we don't even have to touch the cash values in your plans. Because all we're going to do is we're going to take the $4,438 that was saved in that secondary segregated bank account. That was just money you would have paid to somebody else, okay? But you remember, we paid all your other debts off. All your credit cards got paid off in year one and maybe a couple months of year two. All that money didn't disappear. So what we're going to do is we're going to show that debt right here. So this is your segregated account from your debts, and this is your segregated account from the college. So if we look at both of those, literally in this year, year three, $20,000 plus $4,000, you have enough money to pay for Lindsay's college just from the segregated accounts, which is just the recaptured money you used to give away to somebody else. So now I would look at this and I would say, you're paying for Lindsay's school with money that you used to just give away to all the credit cards, the money you used to give away to Infinity for that car loan, and the money that you would have given away to financial aid or some student loan that you would have taken out to pay for her college. So, but we had more money than we needed. You had $24,438. So what we do here, and you're going to start seeing this as we go on, we're going to start rolling over money from the previous years. Because prior, we had just cash values and just monies rolled over from the other two kids. But now what you're going to see is as we go into year 4, we're going to roll over the difference that we didn't use, which is right here, okay, 2562. Plus, we never even touched your cash value, which is now 47,000. So now you got 47 grand sitting in your banking policy. You've got $4,737 in Lindsay's banking policy. Nope, we didn't even use that. And then you've got the other two boys, Alexander and Connor's cash. So that's 11,000 and 11,000. You're starting to build up an awful lot of money. And now all of a sudden, we're not even using these vehicles to pay for school. So that's going to be something you're going to see later. That's the money that you're going to basically use to fund your other goals. One other thing we didn't talk about with Maureen is as she gets this rolling, she's going to have a lot of extra money, and she's going to want to put that money back into these specially designed and engineered whole life policies. But she can't because of IRS guidelines. But you remember her husband, Benjamin? That might be the next person that we start the banking policy on. So when you start your banking system, think, who do you want to start a banking policy on? Is it you, your spouse, your children? How about the whole family? It's time to get into privatized banking, folks. Change your life. But the good thing to notice here is we're starting to really pick up some steam here. All your planning, all the velocity is really starting to work in your favor, and all we're trying to do is pay for college. All right, so we're continuing on. Nothing's really changing. We're just flowing through this. So now we're in year 4. Now, some people that are watching this, and Maureen, hopefully it's not you, your eyes start to roll back in your head. My cameraman's eyes are rolling back in his head because there's a lot of numbers. This is a lot of math. Isn't it nice that you don't have to do this, Maureen?
It's wonderful.
See, this is the thing that I try to help people understand is we do all this work. We're the ones that did all the math. We're the ones that did all the calculations. All you did is told us what you want, and we're just solving your money problems. Like, if everything was this easy, every single person would be wealthy. Unfortunately, I can only help the 5%ers that want help. So another thing happens here in year 4 that I think is really important to bring about. There's almost like a double effect going on here because now instead of just having Lindsay in school, we now have Lindsay and Alexander in school. For most families going through, funding their children's college, this is like the Iron Cross. This is like, oh my God, we can't do this. But this is where yours starts to get easier. This is where you start just running into a problem where you just have more and more money every year. But it should be just the opposite. Most people struggle when they have 2 children in college getting funded, but now you don't because we've done the planning. So here we've got Lindsay in school at $22,000, but now Alexander enters school at $22,000. And remember, all we did is we looked at and we ran an amortization on how much would a college education loan cost, and it was 4% over 180 months. So we've got 2 kids in school, $44,000. So how are we going to pay for this? Well, now because Alexander entered school, we want to use up that tax-free $529 money that you saved back a while ago. So we're going to use $8,000 for Alexander's college, and that's $8,000 from his $529. But then what we're going to do is we're just going to come over here. Do you remember all those debts that we paid off? That money you used to give away to everybody else? All you did is you're now just taking that money back. You're keeping the money you used to give away, and that works out to be $30,756. We got $30,000 in that segregated debt account that we created, but then we also have $6,657 in that college segregated account where we were recapturing the $185 per year for college. That's it. So you don't even need all that money to fund. You needed 44 grand. 8 plus 30 plus 66 gives you an extra $1,400 that you didn't need to use of money that you've already set aside. But it gets even better because not only do you have that money, we've got a total cash value amongst all the plans. your plan, Lindsay's plan, Alexander's plan, and Connor's plan, you have $64,168 in cash value, earning interest plus dividends that we don't even need. So what we're going to do is we're going to show that money rolling over into the next year. So now your cash value in your plan is now $95,000. Then Lindsay's is 12, Alexander's is 16, and Connor's is 16. All that money is money we didn't need. Money that just rolls over to the next year for whatever it is we're going to do. So, how you could really look at that is, I know we're using this to pay for college, but let's say Lindsay comes, Mom, I need a car. Like, I'm sick of asking people to drive me around. I don't want to take those Ubers anymore. Like, this COVID thing scares me. Do you have enough money to buy her a car? Well, you sure do. I mean, unless you buy a car that's more than, I think in this year, $12,000, you could use this to fund a car now. You didn't just pay for her college, but now, heck, you had money to pay for her car. You had money to pay for her college housing or whatever it is. You see, like, having extra money is really never a problem. And I mean, if you got a problem with any of the extra money, I can tell you where to send it. In year 5, we've got Alexander in school. We've got Connor in school, both at $22,000 each. Now, because this is Connor's first year, we had $8,000 in the 529 plan. So we're going to use that 529 plan. So now all 529 funds are exhausted, okay? The second thing we're going to go over and use is we're going to use the money in the segregated account. So we're going to use this $10,000 in the segregated account, which was from the debts. Now you'll notice that that segregated account amount has come down. And the reason for that is we're starting to pay off debts. So when we do these segregated accounts, the way we track it and the way we map it for you is we're not going to continue paying the equivalent of the Infinity car loan if really you would have been paid off on that car. So we cut off some of the debts when they actually would have paid off. So therefore, this debt account, as you can see, pretty much starts going to zero here soon because we're using all that money up, and then we're not going to keep saving that debt money. It's just going to be money that's really in your household, which is kind of cool. We also use the $11,095, which was the segregated account for college. So now we've got most of the money used, or most of the money we need for the college, except for now what we're going to do is we're going to come over to some of this money that's been just every year rolling over. We're going to use that rollover money from the debts. We're going to use Lindsay's remaining rollover amount from her policy, and then we're going to use a little bit from Maureen's policy to basically pay for college this year. Okay, so you see a lot of things happening here. We're paying off a lot of college. We're using money from multiple different accounts. We tracked all this for you, but here we are, we're in year 5, and we're gonna fast forward a little bit because the same thing happens over and over again. All we're doing is taking money from these specially designed and engineered whole lives and paying for these college loans and paying off her college and everything else. So don't get hung up on the numbers, just understand we built the process, you just have to follow it. And as we keep doing this, this is going to be the flow. This will be the flow in year 6. This will be the flow in year 7. This will be the flow in year 8. And all we're going to do is we're basically just going to change where the money is going. It's all the same dollars. It's the same routine. We're tracking it. All you need to do, Maureen, is really just follow this map that we give you. So literally every year when we tell you take money from here, take money from here, you just follow the map. That's all you got to do. It'd be much like you get in your car and you punch in the address for the place you want to go into your GPS. You don't really have to think about where to go. You just follow the instructions. Turn right, turn left, go straight for 2 miles. This is kind of the same thing. I know there's a ton of numbers and a lot of people get lost in the numbers, but that's not what this is designed. This is designed to take the numbers out of your hands so you don't have to deal with it, and all you need to do is just follow the map, follow the GPS. And the result of that, if Andrew scrolls down a little bit here, what'll end up happening is by year 8, something really cool starts happening. Now in year 8, we're pretty much done with school. We've got a couple more years, so Connor's got his 4th year, but now we get into the fun stuff. No more college after that. So here, college is going to be done after that, and we have more than enough money to keep funding college. As you can see, your rollover just from Maureen's policy is $252,000. Connor's got $32,000, which he doesn't need $32,000. He needs $22,000. So if we've got $252,000, what are you going to do with $252,000, Maureen?
I'm going to buy my retirement house.
And here we go. So now we're going to buy a retirement house, and that retirement house is going to cost $250,000. Now, the other thing too that we've been doing this whole time is as we've taken money from these life insurance plans, we've been taking loans, which is why the insurance company continues to pay you interest and dividends, because you haven't taken your money out. So all this money we've taken from all these policies, it wasn't your money. Your money stayed in your account. We took loans from the insurance company, and those loans don't really have to be paid back because they're just going to be subtracted from the death benefit. Here, what we're doing is we're buying yourself your retirement house for $250,000. And all we did is we said, if you took a $250,000 mortgage from the bank at a low interest rate of 4% over 360 months, if you wanted to, this is up to you, you could then recapture $1,912. It's kind of silly because we've already created $1,912 in your budget already, because you no longer are paying any of those debts. So this is just found money, found wealth that you created, and now you've got that retirement house. So you could recapture those dollars, which we would suggest, and that's how we mapped it, but really you're the bank. Do you want to be an honest banker, or do you just want to say, you know what, I've earned this house and I don't want to recapture the money? That's up to you when you get there. But the short answer to everything here is we're only 8 years in, and in 8 years you're completely debt-free. All your children are now, except for one more college year for Connor, all your children are through college. You've got your retirement house over there in Florida, and now all we need to do is really just say, how much more money do you need to buy some rentals? And that's pretty easy to do, because now the plans will keep building on themselves. They will keep creating cash value no matter whether or not you use it all every year or not. This is solving your money problems. That's how we do it. It's a lot of numbers, but end result is what you wanted. What are your thoughts?
I love it. Thank you.
All right, Maureen, so it's exhausting, but we got through it all, and now we're at the part where I just get to show you, like, what did all this mean? Now I know we paid off all your debts. I know we got rid of all the college, and college is out of the way, paid for. I know you got your retirement house, and now you can start buying some of those passive income rentals because there's more than enough money to do that. But really, at the end of the day, what did we really do? We literally paid off over the course of this period of time, which was about 8 years in total with all the college. We paid off $561,000 of debt and would have been debt with college. How much of an interest rate did we actually recapture and take? It's an average of 9.32%. It would be more, but we only accounted for 4% on the tuitions. But really, here's the fun part. So I'm going to write down two numbers on the screen. Okay, I'm going to write down two numbers, and these are big numbers, so I want you to kind of just look at them, and then we're going to talk about what these numbers really mean. All right, so let me ask you, do you know what these numbers are, Maureen?
I have no idea.
Do you want to take a guess?
Money I saved?
Correct. This is the amount of money you would have given away to the car company and the credit cards in interest. This is the interest that you would have given away, but you recaptured, and you got to keep all that. This is the amount of interest you would have given away for college over about 180 months. So this is the college interest that you got to keep. All in total, the net result was you saving $178,236.
Holy cow, that's a lot of money.
So that's how much money you saved that you would have given away. That doesn't account for all the other things that came along with this. Doesn't account for the retirement house, the passive income rentals, doesn't account for anything else outside of interest that you no longer had to give to somebody else. That is the power of being in control of your money. That is the power of the money multiplier, and that is the power of following the mapping process, all of which are things that we are now doing for you, and this is your new reality. So welcome to the family.
Chris, thank you, and the whole money mapping team. I can't even thank you enough for saving me, recapturing me, and taking me into this new family of yours. I love it.
Thank you so much. All right, well, thanks for spending the day with us. And folks, I hope you guys enjoyed this. We'll see you on the next one. So folks, that's how we do things at the Money Multiplier. We've solved Maureen's problems. She's debt-free. Her kids have gone to school, fully paid for, and she's got her dream retirement house. That's the financial butterfly effect. She just changed one thing, and that one thing changed everything. And it is my honor and my privilege to help you do the same thing. So folks, join us for the next Solving the Money Problem. We'll see you then.